everyone, welcome to the Summer 2015 North American Challenger Series. I'm David Turley. Alongside me is the man who needs an introduction, Aiden Zyrene Moon, co-caster. How's it going?
It's going pretty well. Thank you for the introduction there. I definitely needed that one.
Aiden Zyrene Moon, co-caster. Today marks the start of the Summer Challenger Series with a crop of new talent mixed in with former LCS pros. Here's a look at the 6 teams that will be competing for a spot in the North American LCS over the next 7 weeks. So, Team Coast, they finished last in the North American LCS this spring. They were auto-relegated, and they're now here for the first spot in the North American Challenger Series. Joining them are Winsterfox, who felled the Team Dragonites in the Summer Promo Tournament. So that's team number 2.
And after that is Vortex. You can see their logo top right there, formerly known as Final 5, who retained their spot for finishing 4th in the Spring Challenger Series. They're joined by another Spring squad, Team Imagine, bottom left corner, who placed 5th as TSM Darkness and requalified. And
2 teams successfully claimed spots, climbed up from the ranked 5s ladder, succeeded in the Challenger qualifiers, and that is Renegades, formerly Misfits, and Cloud9 Tempest, who actually has a logo you'll recognize. Now, here's what they're all playing for. At the end of this 10-game summer split regular season, and then the couple of weeks playoffs afterwards, whoever claims first place in the playoffs will automatically join the Spring 2016 North American LCS.
And if you finish 2nd and 3rd, those places will compete in the Spring Promotion Tournament against the 8th and 9th place LCS teams. Meanwhile, placing 4th in Challenger means you retain your spot for Challenger for the Spring regular season.
So here's how we're kicking off the summer split tonight. Up first, we have a couple of Spring LCS teams going head-to-head as Winsterfox takes on Team Coast, then Vortex against Team Imagine, and we'll round out tonight's broadcast with Cloud9 Tempest versus Renegades.
And it's actually pretty funny because the top matchup is the former LCS squads that were relegated, the middle one is the returning members of Challenger, and the bottom one are the 2 new squads.
Yep, even though there's rebranding for the middle ones, those are the returning teams, just to reiterate that for you guys. And as we gear up for tonight's first game, here's what happened last night when Team Coast faced off with Winsterfox. You'll see the picks and bans up on your screen in a little bit. The actual bans, by the way, for Coast, they had gotten rid of the Callista from Pinoy and also the Fizz from Avalon.
Yeah, and then over on Winterfox, they got rid of Rise, Echo, and Rumble, banning that away. So these team compositions have very passive mid laners. They have people who want to brawl in the bottom lane, try to trade back and forth, but it's all up to the junglers and their pressure. How do they get these going? But as we get into the game, you're going to see how it unfolds.
Yeah, so the clip's going to run out in a second here, and it starts out with a very interesting battle. Once the clips do roll out, okay, there we go. And this is nice. It's Coast setting up a really nice brush gank. They'd push the wave, hit under the turret, and then bam, they choose to go for Ken specifically. His flash is down. Hard to peel for yourself. Flash in for Mash, gets in the kill. 10% crit chance pays off there for him.
Pinoy was up 20 CS at that point, and Ken was way too far forward. But look at this clip. Pinoy trying to go for the outplay. There's the crit coming in again from Mash. Avarice Blade really paying off.
Yeah, I think it would have died to the ulti anyway, but this is sick. Pinoy honestly is playing so well for Winterfox. He ults right there, dodging all the vision, and then Chris is a little bit helpless. I think he makes a questionable choice to go to the brush here, looking for the outplay. Nice blue trinket. Clicks under the wall, gets the kill right there.
Regardless, you can see 4K gold difference, 3-to-1 in kills, but those turrets, and here comes the chase down.
Yeah, and the chase down's pretty good. Ken just gonna get exploded. Pekin Wolf has been playing AP Kog'Maw. He's got 3 completed items if you count either Sork Shoes or the Haunting guys here, and just it gets worse and worse from there. So Coast, off a single pick, say we're gonna go for the Baron risk.
Yeah, Arc2nd, he does get some good damage over the wall here. You can see highest CS in the game, but he just hasn't gotten off the ground yet. Shorter Ace looking for the steal here. Everybody's pushed back in.
Oh, to 48 health. The smite just a quarter second early, which means Baron does go over to Coast off a 4-1 kill lead, make that 5-1 kill lead, second kill of the game for Pekin Wolf. Fast forward 7 minutes. Baron number 2, try one more time. Shorter Ace to go for the hero steal. Oh, slightly too early again.
Crazy flash there from him because Chris jumped in after him to try and gnar him out of that fight. But look at this. Flash right over. It doesn't even get knocked back. Shrimp not missing a beat. New member to Coast. Korean import, actually.
And yeah, he and Arc2nd, sorry, no, he and Pekin Wolf, sorry, the 2 new guys of Team Coast. Pekin Wolf, of course, replacing ManCloud, the former Coast mid laner. Those 2 have been doing pretty well for themselves, to be completely honest. Both those guys 0 deaths in this game, and continues that way. At this point, it's just chase down, but honestly, Coast have been in complete control of the entire game. Baron number 2. Nice little Q at the bottom side there for Pekin Wolf. So thank you for the kill.
That was Arc2nd's first death of the game over at 42 minutes. But look at this. After getting Dragon 5, Coast, they're ready to go for the kill there. Everybody poked down right before. It's not even an engage.
No, just fantasy stat padding at this point. A couple more kills come through. Double kill, in fact, for Pekin Wolf's Kog'Maw. 9-0-4 on him. 45-minute game, definitely a longer one, but certainly not a lot given up by Coast here.
Yeah. Coast, though, they played a really good game, and the addition of Pekin Wolf and Shrimp seems to be working out for them in that game one. That's actually the first game it's in 5 months that Coast has won professionally.
Yep.
Last time they won a game, it was week 1 of the LCS in spring.
Yeah.
So it's been a very long time. And the team they beat was Winterfox.
Yeah, sure. A team that had 2-0'd them in the LCS season overall, so an interesting improvement. Now, of course, we're going to continue to be looking at tonight's game, and we're going to be looking at that new Coast mid laner, Pekin Wolf. Not only did he do more damage than the rest of his team members on Coast, he did more damage than all of Winterfox combined as well, so he accounted for literally more than a third of all the damage dealt the champions by himself.
Yeah, that AP Kog'Maw, 44,000 damage. You add up everybody on Winterfox, 42,000.
Yeah.
And the thing is he went 9-0-4 on Kog'Maw, but he was 0-0-0 at 32 minutes, and the game ended at 44. So in 12 minutes, he ended up getting 13 points of participation.
Yeah, and that's really good that he managed to turn it on in the later game team fights, but it also means that Coast had done a really good job of securing advantages leading up to that point. Of course, we saw their 2-on-2 get the early pick off. You saw generally good plays by most of Coast. Shrimp, the new jungler, also seemed quite good. And then the other guy I want to talk about is the mid laner for Winterfox, because I was actually very hyped about this guy. Arc Second, formerly of TSM Darkness, was the only really great performing player on that roster. He was like, I was really kind of excited to watch him play. And here on Winterfox, think, okay, maybe this team will be really strong, but so far, it's not been a good performance.
Yeah, they are missing Pobelter from before. Last they had that mid laner, so they're replacing him with Arc Second, who isn't really a very vocal player. The vocalness of this team is going to come from Pinoy. He's the shot caller of this team. Later on, it does become a little bit of shorter ace and Ken, but Pinoy has the final call on everything. So the fact that Pinoy actually got behind early and Coast was camping him was actually really brilliant by Coast to target that guy.
Yeah, those ganks worked out pretty damn well for themselves. We're going to see Winterfox continue to play. I actually really like this when shot calling AD carries pick engage-based AD carries. Be like, we're going to go, I popped R, you better be attacking right now. And it just gives you that, one less piece of hesitation there where the engage tool has been popped and everyone else is going forward. So a Sivir pickup for Pinoy. You'll notice Kalista banned this game. There was one last game as well in the off-stream game. So certainly a lot of respect coming to the former Gambit AD carry. Yeah,
Kalista and Fizz both banned. Again, the thing that was left open was Annie for Executioner Ken. I don't know if he's going to go for it, though. He hasn't been playing a whole lot of it. He's been playing a lot of Bard recently. But Team Coast, they're left up with a lot of different picks here. Alistar's still on the table.
Yeah, it's a big
really high priority support there. I wouldn't be surprised. Conquan has been playing that a lot in solo queue. He got to play it yesterday as well. And Chris insta-locks that Gnar for himself. And so, yeah, there's the Alistar. Okay, they swap over to it. It's like, it's like Gragas, Rek'Sai both on the table.
Hover, made me really surprised as well. I usually don't see teams rush for one of those when both are up, so we might see those get traded out pretty cleanly whenever those do get picked up. Yeah, the Alistar support really big. Gnar, once roughly 3 of the top laners are off the table, Rumble, Fizz, Ryze all gone. It's kind of next in line.
Yeah, 2 champions that they had yesterday. They do lose out on the Sivir there on Team Coast side, but Winterfox, good by them to pick it up. But the question is, what can they do with it? And Pinoy's engage. And this looks like it's just going to be, when you draft a Sivir, you're usually going for a hard engage type composition. You can have something in the mid lane that's a little more passive and skitters around.
Yeah.
But when I talk to some former teammates of Arc Second, they're saying he's a very passive player. He likes to go ahead and kind of farm up, and he's not very vocal.
Yeah.
But he does have assassins in his pool. Don't know how many he's going to be able to bring out, but we always saw him on the Xerath. We saw him on the Poke Champions, and there he goes with the Azir once again.
Yep, playing some good back range team fighters. We'll be playing it with Gragas jungle, so no Nunu, no like hyper carry Azir synergy, but they've got plenty of damage up on this team. They've already got the makings of a tank, so you're looking at just a default sort of team fighting team composition. You probably see one more tank come in, maybe some more hard engage, and you just start fights with these guys. Pretty standard, tried and true comp for Winterfox. Makes sense so far.
Yeah, Sivir is still really good with a lot of mages in the mid. Not only is it engage power, it's also running in circles and running away from people, repositioning with the Azir. So that's very important as well. So right now, Winterfox, very team fighty, but I think Team Coast is just going to go the same way here as well.
Yeah, it's pretty likely. They've certainly got the front line. Now, Gnar can be a good split pusher depending on the matchup you give him. You can actually play a much more split-up game. Corki would actually even fit this mold right here, where it's just, we can survive under turrets, we can play like a Yasuo or a Zed split pusher, and just like play a very open map. I actually think Coast can really change their comp based on the mid lane pick. I think they can play it a lot of different ways here, which I do actually quite like, that if they want to play Assassin or Team Fight for Pekin Wolf, it's both available.
Yeah, you could once again go with the AP Kog'Maw. Pekin Wolf, He's always kind of
Cog's banned, but you can play the Cassie or the Victor, the other team fighters.
The Cogma is banned for good reason.
Right, of course.
For great reason, actually. But the main thing here is he gets to pick whatever he wants, of course, right? Red side. But Pekin Wolf was always kind of a poke champion player. Every time I've played with him and every time I've seen him, he's always been like, Nidalee is his jam. AP Nidalee mid, poke people out, Xerath, things like that, right? So I wonder if he's going to go back to that or if he's expanded his pool and he's gone to more champions since then.
And we'll see what it ends up being. Winterfox now to make their last couple of choices here is lock in their team comp, and that's going to be the lock, and it's more tanks, more engaged. So very much all about team fighting. They've got decent-looking lanes overall. I think Sivir Bard can be totally okay. Maokai is fine and everything, and Azir's totally good. So just a standard, well-rounded, like you can bring this comp at anything, and if you play well, you'll win.
Yeah, Bard is actually an interesting pick alongside Sivir. Sivir has so much wave clear in the spell shield that she actually becomes kind of self-sufficient in the lane. You just keep clearing it as fast as you can, Boomerang Blade, Ricochet.
If they push into you.
Exactly. And then Bard, you can go ahead and roam. But Bard can also do things where it's like, I look like I'm roaming, and then comes back into lane when they push in on you.
True.
So Alistar is somebody who can meet that roam potential. But right now, what's Winterfox going to do with this composition besides team fighting? Because yesterday, they didn't do anything, and they kind of rolled over. You saw, it was like 4 or 5 kills at the 32-minute mark between both teams. It was just Coast getting smaller advantage after smaller advantage and just snowballing from there.
That's true. Well, we'll see short race on a good early aggressive jungler like Gragas. You'll see Winterfox with the ability to start hard engaged team fights as well with this Sivir, with the Bard ulti. So the ability to team fight could at least be more prevalent. Maybe Winterfox do find some tenacity there. Yeah,
the only thing here that's really changed for them is the Sivir and the Bard, because it's the exact same Azir, Gragas, and Maokai that Winterfox had. So the core of their unit is the same, but they're hoping that the Sivir gives them the ability to start these fights.
Yeah, instead of Janna Vayne, they've got Sivir Bard. I mean, that is pretty much as 180s you can possibly get.
Sivir Bard is actually pretty crazy. If you Bard ulti somebody from really far away, you know the team is going to make it there in time for when he's ungolden.
Yeah, and of course, meanwhile, Team Coast still looking very strong. Of course, they had won last game. It was something like 18-1 in kills. Like, certainly Coast are the favorites coming in here. They seem to be the quickest to turn things around from their very rough streak from the North American LCS. We'll see if that positive sort of trend continues here. They've got good lanes, they've got good players, and so far this new lineup has looked strong.
Yeah, they've looked strong, but it's one game, small sample size. We'll have to see, because we didn't see them throughout the qualifiers. They were immediately qualified in here, and they're up against Winterfox. We talked about their composition. The Coasts, with Pekin Wolf locking on a non-poke champion, good wave clear, mid-range mage, faring against an Azir early. He's going to have an okay time, but later, reaching this Azir is going to be a trouble point for this Coast squad. It's up to Chris with flanks, it's up to Conquan to get in there and try to lock up ArcSecond. ArcSecond has had really good positioning in the past, though. So if ArcSecond makes it into the mid-late game with Azir and he hits his power spikes in his stride, it's really difficult for Coast to catch him.
Well, then we'll see if Coast can end up catching him and kind of break through to the back line. Right now, we just have these standard battle lines opening for both these teams. Avalon Chris saying hi, Sapling versus Boomerang. Oddly enough, both made of wood. So, similar elemental weapons here. Actually, do you think Boomerang would be type wood or type wind? Like if you were to classify it like an RPG.
It could be a mixture.
It's just a dual type?
Mixtures
like
are allowed, yeah.
Okay. Governed by strength or agility, you think? Because like most range classes are about agility, but you throw a Boomerang hard, it's going to hurt.
It would probably be agility. I would have to give it to agility.
Yeah.
But also when you look at like a sapling, is that like
that's like intelligence. Like I think it's arcane damage because it explodes.
Yeah, I guess so. But also like you were talking about wood plus I guess is wood even a type? I don't think wood.
I mean, there's like leaf.
It's a type
Pokemon.
Yeah. So this would be like life.
Life
because it's got it's
nice.
It's animated.
Okay, life type. I actually dig that. We're going to see the antithesis of life here as Avalon will kill a whole bunch of wolves.
With trees.
Yeah. It's weird because like they made the forest their home, but now the forest is coming to attack them back, and it's just confusing when your home comes to disrupt you. Either way, Shrimp has successfully taken down the Krugs himself. We will have standard lanes with just the fact that Avalon is taking a camp at level 1. 2-on-2 is going to happen. Full Krug clear for Winterfox. Looks like Coast did the same with Gromp, so half a level for both these guys.
Ken, I think, is going to hit level 2 fairly early on, though. You can see he's collected some chimes. Chimes will give him a little bit of experience. So this Bard is actually going to hit level 2 a little bit faster than you would expect. So as soon as they clear this camp, he's already hit 2, so he gets that advantage on himself. So now he gets to walk up zone a tiny bit, and that stops them from continuing to push the wave. So that's one of the advantages of Bard, is if you do a camp like that, you actually hit 2 slightly faster. It's not as expected from your enemies. They have to check how many chimes you've collected and then kind of calculate that on the spot.
That's impressive, yeah. And I figure at some point someone like does the math on X number of chimes means this number of minions early, but either way, good start. Pinoy and Ken had been winning lane over in game 1, which is disrupted by some good plays otherwise. Shrimp trying to keep his team alive from ganks, takes the top lane Scuttle Crab, puts an aggressive ward down that will not spot anything, and he can surmise that Shorter Race will be bottom jungle at this point. Which means Coast will have to be afraid on the bottom side of the map for where Gragas could be. Otherwise, we have a very equal game with people just taking pretty much their camps in a normal way.
And I want to talk a little bit about Shrimp because I hadn't heard of him before, and then I discovered he's actually a Korean import solo queue jungler who has a 70% win rate in Korean solo queue masters over there. And on top of all that, when they brought him in, like, they also have Kongkwan on the team who can communicate with him. So it's actually an easier transition than you would originally think when you bring on a Korean import. So I want to see how Shrimp performs, and I want to see how a lot of these junglers perform, because we've seen Short Race before. We're going to have people later on like Dardoch, who's just turned 17, and we're going to be able to see. So keep my eye on fresh junglers, how they perform in teams, because it's a completely different setting when it's your first competitive team.
Very true, and there's some that do really well in it, and some that have a very hard time. I know, for example, Sarah, for example, had like a really hard time in his first competitive team, and he started looking a whole lot better when he got with TDK.
It doesn't always click first.
Yeah, and sometimes, you know, it goes out quite well. I would say Pinoy actually had a pretty good opening, just by and large, back when he was Chrisland over in the European Challenger Series, but he was still one of the more, I think it was Reason Gaming, and he was like one of the more impressive players on the roster. And enough to get picked up by Gambit afterwards. So, yeah, it always affects everyone differently. Nerves come and go. Sometimes you haven't competed for a while, they actually pick back up. I was actually talking to Shorter Race before the game started, and he said that even though he's been a long-time competitor, he's actually really nervous for the games today, in the games this split. And that he says it was one of his last times to actually try for the push to LCS. And missed on here.
Continue his last push.
So yeah, he's like, you know, we're at school coming up, and he's like, you know, my parents, you know, want me to focus on my future in you know, a way that'll be successful. It's, you know, it's always tough to split priorities properly, and this might be the last split he competes in. We'll see.
We'll see. He's gonna try to make it this split. Shrimp off on the side though. Ken, he's gonna face check it. Shrimp's in there though.
Yeah, that's a pretty big Rek'Sai. I would kind of lie to you if the name is Shrimp. Nice flash, pulverized, perfect setup. Match gets the kill, even led the queue in case the flash did come through at the end of it all.
I love how Shrimp was leading that, so you actually never had a good cosmic binding on him. After he knocked him up, he immediately positioned himself to the left, so there's nothing to hit him against. You'd have to flash and immediately throw the cosmic binding backwards and hope Shrimp doesn't flash it. But really good pickup there by Kongkwan to come in from the side.
And that's always the worry, is when you're like, you know, if the jungler, I think the jungler might be here. I should ward this, but if the jungler's there and you ward it, you die. And that's, I've had that happen to me like 70 times over the course of my life, and it's just, if the wards lapse, your life's in a bad spot. So, good first blood to Coast yet again, starting out the way you kind of expected, where Winterfox was winning the laning phase. In fact, they still are CS-wise, but Coast are getting the early kills.
Yep, that's, and like I said, I had to keep an eye on these new guys from Coast, because we've seen Chris, we've seen Mash, we've seen a little bit of Kongkwan, but Shrimp and Peekenwolf and how they changed the landscape of this team. Because it's strange when you move out one person and you put a new guy in, if they're a shot caller, you see a great difference in how they played before. When you move 2 people in, it's almost like it's a completely different team. The other people still have their habits and their tendencies, but the priorities, the champion pools, a lot changes for a squad.
So you got to see what the change is like now for both these teams, as they've subbed out 2/3 of the roster on both sides. Definitely will change the identity. Winterfox, I guess, Ken was kind of a new player as well, but he was at least on the roster, so counts for that side of it. Shorter Ace and Shrimp kind of dueling, and Shorter Ace actually is, I believe, outside of Tremor Sense range.
He knows he's there.
Yeah.
Shorter Ace knows that Shrimp is here. Shrimp does not know just yet. Shorter Ace looking for a duel, though.
Wow, a lot of damage dealt for this one. Just enough to knock him away. Thing is, Shrimp was going to recall anyway, so very little gained by Shorter Ace. Yeah, he gets to go look at the red buff here, knowing that Shrimp is being forced to recall. Enough ward coverage to be safe. This is
Shrimp can
well
back in, though. He hit the level 6.
I think Shredder Ace. Oh, Shredder doesn't have the smite yet. He doesn't have smite, but neither does Shrimp. It's really close here.
A little off. He's going to have it in 1 second here.
I think they get it at the same time. Oh, Shredder Ace gets it. Shrimp was not able to smite the one in time. Whether they were desynced or not, it does go to Shorter Ace. Great red buff steal, despite being a level down still.
I am a little surprised that the mid laners did not show up to that. That was completely telegraphed. Shrimp pinged for assistance, and Pekin Wolf was still very busy clearing out a wave. Wasn't worried about mana, wasn't worried about health. But now Shrimp, he's going to go on Shorter Ace because he knows he's low.
It smites up.
Pekin Wolf's not coming, though.
Thank you for the blue buff.
Pekin Wolf is hard tunneled on farm.
Speaking of hard tunnel on Shorter Ace, forced to get away. Yeah, exactly. Shrimp stole the blue. Deals some damage. He knows he's safe. Out he goes. Pink ward gets cleared on the backside, but super worth it, of course. And Shrimp gonna zone Arc second away for a little bit longer. Wait. He knows where Shorter Ace recalled from? He doesn't. He's just gonna steal camp.
Gonna get more camps out of this, but that's going to allow Pekin Wolf to shove up the mid lane. Blue doesn't even go over to Arc second, so it ends up being a complete waste of his time, and he goes down 3 CS total in the laning phase, but it's not that big of a loss for Arc.
And he killed a pink ward, okay?
Yeah, he doesn't get the blue though, and blue is very important on Azir. It gives you that extra attack speed too with the passive.
That's true.
So it gives you a lot of laning presence, and if Pekin Wolf is able to pick up his own blue, then it's just that more of a discrepancy.
I absolutely agree. It definitely is going to translate into a bit of a lead, I would expect, for Pekin Wolf. We'll see if that continues on that trend, as for now they are trading fairly equal. Arc second looks like he's only casting 1 or 2 spells per wave, and it seems to be okay for him here. Chris doing battle with Avalon. Avalon actually having a small lead on this one. Neither have recalled yet. They're both sitting on plenty of potions as well, so a very just docile, equalized lane up here without much happening.
And Avalon, he always did like that Maokai in the LCS. It was a great pickup for him. Pretty interesting trade in the spot lane, though. Nice cosmic binding there, stopping the combo from Conquan. I want to see what happens around this jungle area with the blue, because Shorter Ace, it looks like he's going to try to cut him off as he goes for it.
And Shorter Ace is going to try. He is level 6 on Gragas, knocks him to the side a little bit, but where's the damage coming from? Azir not yet in range. I think there's really no chance they steal the blue buff away.
Oh, he has smite. He has smite.
He has smite, and he's just got to try to run.
He got it.
Shrimp can knock him up, but Conquan's here too. This might be a bit greedy. It does force the flash, so the question is, was flash worth the blue buff steal? The answer is maybe. We'll have to see if this manifests anything.
Worth.
If Short Ace dies the next 4 minutes, I'm going to say no.
Well, it depends on who he dies to. If he dies to Shrimp, it's not that bad.
I suppose. Still gold.
Anyway, yeah, Shrimp, he likes to go after his Cinder Hulk. He likes to go right into Black Cleaver. He's a very carry-oriented jungler, but he still likes to be tanky, so he's not going for Warrior and things like that.
They saw him, right? Like,
they
know Rek'Sai went into that jungle. This is really greedy.
These junglers are just going at each other's throats via the jungle. It's like, this is my camp. No, this is my camp.
The fact that he's got like 4 tunnels in Shorter Ace's jungle is pretty crazy, though.
Yeah, his tunnel placement and the fact they haven't been cleared out yet, it just means that Shorter Ace, after he cleared that left side of his jungle and his blue got stolen, he couldn't go back into there. And after he backed, he had to go straight to the mid lane to worry about the blue coming up. He stole it, so he didn't have time to clear these tunnels out. And immediate capitalization by Shrimp, too.
Yeah, absolutely. So with blue buffs being traded equally to both junglers at this point, mid laners are staying equal. The bot lane within 8, so actually the early deficit has been equalized somewhat thanks to the kill that Kosa picked up, and you're seeing them just be in the same spot here. 600 gold game, exactly what you expect from the first blood here, so that surge of money has just made the lanes go basically equal from that point on.
Pinoy, a little bit of a CS advantage. Mid lane even. Righteous Boy completed top, so TP play for Avalon with a speed boost is very, very possible. It looks like Black Cleaver first for Chris as well.
Yeah.
This game, though, is all of it about tiny jungle movements and kind of testing where the cracks in the armor are between Shrimp and Shorter Ace. As a jungler, I'm absolutely loving this. Just this
it's just the junglers fighting.
Yeah, that's all it is. Everybody's like, let me farm the lanes. And junglers are calling for help constantly.
And not getting it.
Yeah. That's the annoying part. As a jungler, I'm like...
As a jungler, I hate this game.
You kind of should have helped him there. Jungling's a team effort.
This is the equivalent of me seeing a game with like Hecarim, Cassid, and Nocturne in it, and being an AD carry main, being like, yeah, this is a really exciting game. Watching the AD carries die right away.
Peel? Team?
With their unbreakable move blocks, yes.
Team?
Good luck with that one.
Yeah. Actually played a game like that where I played AD carry and there was a whole bunch of dive.
It's fun, right?
We won the team fight at the very end.
4v5.
But I didn't show up to it. I didn't show up to it, so everybody saved their abilities. No, the enemy team didn't actually use their abilities because they were too worried about if I had jumped into the fight late. So they won a 4v5 without me.
Sounds like how this cast works.
There's 9 people in this room?
Yes. Well, there's cameramen and stuff. There's not else. Anyway, Winterfox back to lane in the bottom lane here. Adverse Blade picked up for the AD carry Pinoy. So far, really just the holding pattern here, which honestly does feel very similar to Game 1. But the thing to point out is Coast have actually grown their gold lead now. They're up 1,300 gold without any more kills coming in. And some of this is where the minion waves stand, but it's also kind of bad recalls from a lot of the Winterfox members getting pushed around their lanes. Shrimp, who's going to get his red buff safely. Chris going to get a lot of damage to his top turret. This is working out quite nicely.
I actually think this gold advantage is coming from the junglers.
Sure. Let's see, it's a 700 gold lead, but part of that is the first blood assist. Yeah. So 500 from farm.
And there we go, first turret of the game going down. Chris eventually whittling it down. Avalon not even using his TP to return to lane. Wants it for if a fight comes out, because that's going to be the bigger part. Saving it for that, not using it to get back to lane.
Alrighty, and look at this. Nice play by... Oh, no, it was being ward. He was going to go for the slinky, cute gank, but just goes a ward to do it, and then walks right back around. But yeah, vision control still seems to be the objective. Both these AD carries are sitting not quite at their first giant power spike, but have items enough to be threatening in a team fight. So if one of these dual lanes gets pushed out of lane off of a bad trade, that can easily turn into either a turret kill or a dragon take.
Both these junglers haven't been ganking any lanes either. They've been kind of ganking each other's junglers, trying to keep tabs on it. Ooh, nice trade there by Pinoy.
Yep. Spell shoot the Q, dodge the R, land half your own abilities, and you're going to be okay. Black Cleaver done for Chris. He's already back in lane with teleport up. Chris has been getting a pretty big lead over his opponent. Of course, the turret kill grows the gold lead to 2,000 as Coaster continued to win the early game. Winterfox was getting bled out slowly but surely. Looks like Shrimp wants to recall, no ulti up, and will be back in the fray soon enough. But it is double Sightstone up already for Coast. And you talked about the gold lead across the two junglers. This is manifested in a very real advantage, as the double Sightstone is going to mean a big vision lead for this Coast squad.
Yeah, and I think Shrimp is just going to continue to go into the jungler of Winterfox. He has some tunnels set up around the river. Good escape points for him, but as those continue, he's going to try to get ward of shorter ace. Chris, though, kind of training down Avalon. He still has his jump.
Used it just there.
He's going to get a good chunk of his HP, actually. If he gets that last one, this is what the Black Cleaver's all about.
A lot of damage on Avalon. Just pushes him right out of the lane. And Chris is going to go collect up whatever scraps he can. And again, remember, TPs are both up, so recalls still mean you're available to fight for the dragon. Things to always keep in mind here. And then you're still going to back and forth. Ken, yeah, he realized he was in a dangerous spot, but no hard chase happens. Short race not going to find the gank just yet. And we're just waiting for the first grand move to happen. It's still mostly the junglers playing the vision game, trying to spot each other out. Shorter ace gonna kill a ward. That's the kind of action we're seeing in this one.
Actually, I was looking at ward stats yesterday for Coast and Winterfox's game, and Winterfox, they placed 158 wards, and 71 of them were cleared by Coast.
Jeez.
So Coast cleared 45% of them. Look at this mash.
That forces the flash, but Shorter is already around, and now that's a flashless mash.
What?
He ults to push the Alistair in, who pops his own ulti, so Conquan stays safe. Teleport in from Chris. Shorter ace waits for the knockup, but still the chase of aggressive flash by Chris. The flash pull over to Conquan as well. Gets Ken. Down goes Bard. 2-0 in this one. Shorter ace still being chased around. Chris auto-attacks, hits a ward on accident. Will not kill the jungler under the turret, but it's still 2-0 Coast with a big lead.
I think he was actually attacking the ward to see if he could get the extra movement speed from his Black Cleaver, and then maybe it would help him run down. I don't know. But regardless, Avalon no TP into that fight, and they give up a dragon there. Short race, I thought he was going to throw his cask over at Mash and try to kill him. He still had heal available, but knocking back Conquan and then just having to wait for the body slam took him forever. Really sloppy there by Winterfox.
Yeah, honestly, just the dive really was not well enough executed. They could have had Shorter ace, just for example, wait around in the corner and let the wave push in, and then they could have had a better coordinated dive. So in the end, it means Coast does get the dragon safely. They do get a nice extra lead off killing the opposing support. And Chris walks back in the lane, happily and safely, TP down, but who cares with Dragon off the table. And it just keeps getting better and better for the red team.
Yeah, and in that scenario that just happened, you could have done nothing after getting Mash's flash, and you would have gotten the flash.
Yep. Maybe. No, you'd get Dragon. Mash out of that fight.
Yeah,
you get Dragon.
You possibly shove the bottom wave down, and you get the turret because you already have shorter race there.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of different options, but they went with the very aggressive one, and it did not pay off. It actually bit them.
Well, unfortunate stuff there, and you said, final call goes to Pinoy. If that was him saying, let's dive this guy, it was definitely a missed call. Whoever's call it was, though, wasn't the right one. Chris and Avalon still in a battle, and Avalon really wants this battle to happen because Shorter Race is not far away. You see the boomerang blocked off by a minion. Shorter Race goes for the explosive cast, buys a bit of time, but Chris too close to Meganar. No chase possible. Out he goes.
Having to use the body slam over the wall really stops you from lining up an ideal explosive cask. Good trades in the mid lane, though, back and forth. You see Pekinwolf getting the better of some. You see ArcSecond getting the better of some. Going even in lane here between these two mid laners. And they're going to be a big force. As soon as the laning phase is over, both these mid laners are having good farm. They're both at the 10 per minute mark.
Now, most of the contention here is really across the two junglers. Shrimp 1-0 and 1, so he got a kill for that one, but he's sitting up more than 1,700 gold.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He's got 400 gold from kills and assists. He's got 1,300 gold from farm and
be up a little bit more now.
Yeah, he's likely to be. Shorter Race, no flash to speak of. Kill goes to Pekinwolf. Shrimp still the 100% kill participation in this game, having a great job crushing Shorter Race and getting his team ahead.
Yeah, he's just getting his farm, too. He's stealing all the camps from Shorter Race. It's a really frustrating game for him. Shrimp is 2 levels up over Shorter Race, level 11 already. And Shorter Race still the same level as his support.
Very impressive stuff here. Pinoy forces Spell Shield, blocks a rocket. Does not block Phospho Bomb, but has to run away from the trade. And you can see that just the gold that's been coming in thanks to all the kills is finally letting Coast win that 2-on-2 battle. Winterfox have no legs to stand on anymore. It's ArcSecond going equal in his lane and everyone else just losing objectively. Blue buff taken away, not even a contest here. They don't even bother to send ArcSecond over. Coast getting farther and farther ahead, taking pieces of the map every single time.
So far, I've been rather impressed by Shrimp's control.
Oh, man. Shrimp is crushing it.
Especially somebody like Shorter Race. Shorter Race was always a very aggressive, playmaking jungler. And he's just using that against Shorter. His vision control game, the fact that he's got 100% kill participation, and he's out farming. Like, not only is this guy ganking and shutting the enemy jungler down, he is farming extraordinarily well.
Yeah, just a million good things to say for Shrimp. Getting kills, getting farm, getting everything done, getting buff steals. This is, Prudence's game is when your jungler does better, the movie. And I guess that was maybe last game too, this is the sequel. It's as good as the first. Blue buff steal does come through though, successfully, so props there for Winterfox, and that was a Shorter Race-led invade, so blue buff on ArcSecond for the first time all game long, but Pekinwolf stayed mid and got the turret down for that, so there's the price of your excited invade here.
They got the blue, they got the bottom turret, they traded mid turret for it. It's still about 4.4 thousand gold between these two teams, and Chris is continuing. We're talking about how Gnar can be a split pusher. That's exactly how he's playing it. Black Cleaver first item, trying to train Avalon down the lane, and his team is giving him vision control around that jungle so that he can't get flanked by Shorter Race very early on, and he's left out to dry in that top lane push. So he gets to just shove Avalon in like over and over again, and he's going to continue.
Yep, Avalon defensive ult just gets brought down to half HP. Look at this damage. Chris can maybe go for the dive. It's close. He's gonna. The flash from Avalon gets him away. Chris didn't have it. I'm sure he would have used it if he could. But this is how this top lane has managed to happen. Without kills. It just came back up.
Oh, it just
when I said it was like 5 seconds away. Yeah.
So it's still going to be rewarding. Having turret damage. So Chris just keeps doing this. He's not getting any help because Shrimp is keeping tabs on Shorter Race like he has been all game. Shorter Race is feeling the pressure of having to keep up in the jungle.
He knows Shrimp smite! He saw the ward go down. Shorter Race smites early, gives the golem over to Shrimp. I mean, at this point, I just feel like Shorter Race got tilted because that's an easy mistake not to make. But here we go. TP in from Avalon is going to get mashed by Chris.
They don't know where to go. They don't know who to go after. Avalon's going after Pekin.
All right, they burned a flash, but now the backside of the completely caught out Shorter Race, left alone. Avalon to engage, but why? It's a 4v5. He goes down for it. What kind of communication is this? Bartle to buy a bit of time, but Conquan still to chase. Magical Journey brings him right into Ken. A flash pulverized catches Pinoy. That's going to be another kill picked up. A triple for MASH, and they are not even done. Boomerang Bait's going to slow him down. Shrimp gets another kill. Arc's second going to fall. A quadra for MASH. Shrimp stole the would-be Penta, but you know what? When you play that well, you can.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm going to say MASH stole Shrimp's double. Shrimp has been having a good game.
I know.
100% kill participation still. Give him the double, man. At least let him have the double.
Hey, he's got 2 kills. It's good enough. You got an assist for first blood. What do you want, jungler?
Yeah, that's true. I wanted to have a reward for all of my efforts of shutting down the enemy jungle, aside from a CS number. I want some kills. Anyway, Shrimp, though, 2 levels up over Short Race. Short Race he looks very uncoordinated right now. The entire team looks desperate. That's how I'm describing this. People have good flash over the wall because he was going to get flanked by Arc second, but then immediately Shorter Ace is caught out. Everybody got split there. Nobody was on the same page there on Winterfox squad. And that Magical Journey actually screws Pinoy.
Yeah.
Ken was trying to help.
Alistair delivery system.
This is why Alistair
It's a cattle drive.
This is why Alistair doesn't have 3 move blocks. That's what he'd be able to do to your team. He only gets the headbutt. Give him another distance closing move.
You mean like Talisman of Ascension and Distortion enchant?
Yes, there you go. Talisman of Ascension for himself. Movement speed increases, but Chris gonna try to clear this wave.
Well, he's facing a 1v3. Explosive cast back in. I think he might actually live anyway.
He's got Hyper now because we'll see.
He's probably dead.
Conquan?
He's probably dead? He's not dead. Just kidding. Well, Chris can't die ever this game. Double... Yeah, okay. Coast is just... They're so far ahead now. Peek and Wolf on the chase. Shorter Race might die for this. Dodge the death ray for now. And Winterfox, they can't get anything right going for them. Arc second got to push down mid. Finally off of Peek and Wolf roam, but it's a really rough game for them.
Yeah, it's an extremely rough game. It got out of hand very early. It was those tiny, tiny advantages. I talked about it last time. The game didn't get out of hand until 32 minutes, but it was just tiny advantages that Coast gets, and they seem to snowball it really well. And a lot of that is Shrimp. Shrimp just seems like a great addition to this squad at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
Especially by challenger means. Like, when you find a jungler like this, who's able to just mesh with the team very quickly and make his own moves, it's kind of like the team. Like, it's not so much that the jungler has to mesh with the team kind of has to mesh to this jungler.
Yeah, it's like, hey, just keep your lanes up. Shrimp will win the game for you.
Yeah, he's just making such great moves, very intelligent moves, and he's panicking Shorter Ace. It's very visible that Shorter Ace is frustrated. Shorter Ace has been trying to go after, like, even an Aegis of the Legion at this point, and the dude's been on locket for the past 8 minutes. Like, Shrimp has just been having a really good game. He's going to go Black Cleaver next.
Just to add the extra damage output, Chris also going to go for the Frozen Mallet build on the Gnar, so health and attack damage really split push focused, but when you don't have to team fight basically ever as Coast, and when you do it's easy, they just build further lanes. They're going to keep doing well for this one. MASH doing a nice high damage build. This is actually my favorite Corki build. I'm glad he's doing it. Triforce, Ruin King, and Infinity Edge. I think that's proper. Just as a random aside, since we're looking at Coast just crushing this game so far. Bartlety, nice dodges by Coast. No pickups at all.
He tried to play him the song of his people, but they just wouldn't listen. Poor guy.
They just turned the volume down.
Oh.
They turned a deaf ear.
A deaf ear to his tempered
I think it's okay.
I always wanted him to like play his instrument like really hardcore when he does that. Like bust out like a saxophone. Because he's a bard, right? He's got an instrument. Yeah! That would make you stop for 2.5 seconds.
I mean, that song took longer than that, but the game slows down.
Regardless, the moves that these people have been making lately.
Like this one?
Trying to make one right here. Peek and Wolf. Oh, just out of range.
Gonna try, but Ken, oh my god! Oh, wow.
The Victor damage. MASH wants more.
Maybe Barbie should replace him because Ken's not doing very well on this one. Trying to run away as best he can. A trinket ward, and Shrimp shows up, knocks him down. Conquan still in the chase. Yeah, another
collapse,
1-0.
The collapse from all angles there. You didn't have anywhere to run. They even had Sivir ultimate. They couldn't start the fight the way they wanted to. And then just the fact they're able to come from all sides. Coast look way more coordinated in comparison to what Winterfox looks like right now.
Absolutely. I mean, Coast have done a good job of turning themselves around from the Spring Split LCS team. Shrimp has been absolutely amazing. Coach St. Vicious, of course, also part of the roster, is certainly helping them a bit as well. And so far, playing the holding pattern game, FLICKR split pushing plus Shrimp has gone nicely.
Yeah, since the last time we saw both these squads, Winterfox acquired Leviathan, former coach of first place EULCS Alliance. So Leviathan for Winterfox, and then St. Vicious for Team Coast. And Coast, they do look more coordinated. I don't know what St. Vicious is doing over there, but it seems to be working. Even just throwing Shrimp into the mix. And the call is the 100% kill participation still for him.
Yep.
And the way they're coming into these fights just looks coordinated.
It looks like Coast say they want to win the game by going for Baron Nash here. It's only 28 minutes in, by the way. This is actually pretty short into the game.
Yeah.
But it's just been so action-packed by Shrimp just destroying everybody that it feels much later. But 28 minutes in, Coast looking for their first Baron. They're going to get it so incredibly easily. There's just no contest at all. Winterfox being walked over this game.
Yeah, Pinoy was down bottom trying to clear waves still. And like you said, it's early in the game. Pinoy, we saw even in the clips from yesterday, he loves farming side waves so that he can get into the game because he's very behind right now. 5-0-2 on MASH. He's only got a death, but Pinoy just doesn't have any kills. He doesn't have ways to go crazy in this game. And is this still your favorite Corki build?
Swift as boots. Haven't bought that item in like 2 years. I mean, so I think this allows him to get away from like Tempered Fate. I'm trying to think of like the reason why. It'll allow him to outrange things, I guess. Like, and play more kitey. If like all the team wants to do is split push forever, I understand buying move speed. I still don't know if it's optimal, but I'm just saying I understand the thought process.
I'm not sold on them.
No, I'm not either. I'm just saying this is probably what he's thinking.
Yeah.
Like, this is the dream, and if there's a reason you need to be super mobile, then it's the item you buy. Ironically, not boots of mobility.
It's true.
Because if they hit you, you go slow.
You have to be mobile in the fights.
Yep.
Black Cleaver completed for Shrimp. Looks like a Lich Bane is what's next for Pika Wolf, so he's going with the build where he just pops people off. See the dragon?
Oh, that's actually freaking amazing! That was sick as hell! Great ulti by Ken. It doesn't stasis the dragon. Gives enough time for Shorters to come in and steal it. That was really nice.
Now, if only Ken had done that for the last 30 jungle camps that Shrimp had stolen from Shorter Ace, maybe it would have worked, but man, that was a really nice Bard ultimate there. It secures a dragon, but it's almost too little too late. 12,000 gold advantage, Baron up onto Coast, and now they're just going to get another turret from this, just off of really smooth moves in this game.
And that's okay. The LCS big play for that one was the Dragon Steal. The two-man Dragon Steal was nice. Either way, though, Coast, of course, very, very far ahead. 10-0 in kills. This scoreline looks basically identical to the last one. The first two guys met yesterday. Coast very much in control. They've got Shrimp, the split pusher, staying in the mid lane. They could 1-3-1 if they wanted to, but they're going for the 0-1-4 instead. Mid lane mini wave dies, so Shrimp goes for Wolf Camp. Does use a siege, but you can see that Winterfox do have good wave clear. Azir Sivir, very good at turtling, but we can see that it's so hard for them to make any moves to catch back up in the game. All they can do is stall.
At 42 minutes in the previous game, Arc Second had a 0-0-0 scoreline. This game, 0-1-0. He's still rather invisible, and his effect on this game with this Azir is minimal. He's just kind of matching Pekin Wolf, but now Pekin Wolf has shown up to the kills, to the fights. They're not affecting the game. They're just capitalizing on what the team has set up for them already.
Yeah.
And Arc Second's really the way that they get back into this game. With his farm, with his Azir pick, he needs to be making some moves.
This is interesting how Coast are playing the end game here. So they had Baron buff. I realize inhib turrets are hard to kill, but they basically sat 4 guys bot lane, and all that happened for 3 waves straight was Shrimp cleared the western jungle and then started pushing top lane in. He actually let mid get pushed back out. Which kind of felt weird to me that they cashed in the Baron buff by taking the jungle away without really creating an opportunity to break into the base. It felt a little bit slow to me by Coast, but it was definitely a sort of safe advantage where there was really no risk. Shrimp could always have ulted back in. He had tunnels by the team. But I think they could have pushed a little bit harder by using Chris in one of the lanes as well.
Oh, man. Shrimp level 16, almost level 17. You saw his experience bar there, and Shorter Race just turned level 13.
Oh, God.
Almost a 4-level advantage here.
Yeah.
4 Shrimp in the jungle.
I mean, it's a story of the game.
He's 100 CS up. He's massacring Shorter Race right now in almost every aspect of the game.
Yep. Not the one digit of CS, though. That one Shorter Race has.
All right, all right.
Yeah.
Give him that. Give him that.
No matter how bad something is, I can always spin it positive. Shorter Race has more capital letters in his name, too.
That's true.
Yep.
That's true. He's got to beat
His
there.
name is longer.
He beats him in everything that counts in the jungle at the moment in this game. If Coast closed this game out without giving up a single kill, it means that they would take this set with only one death.
Yep.
And that death was Chris yesterday.
Solo kill from Pinoy. Yep. That was like ridiculously well played. If you guys actually are tuning into the broadcast just now and you missed it, like at some point go rewatch that and look at the highlight of Pinoy's solo kill because it was so freaking good.
Yeah, solo killed Chris, but there's the only kill in between
that Winterfox has had all series.
Between these two games, Winterfox only has one kill, and there's no assists on it. So Winterfox could end up losing the set with 0 assists.
With 4/5 of the team having a 0 KDA. Yeah. And 0 assists is actually, you're right. How many games have you seen where there were less assists than kills for a team?
That's true. It's very, very rare.
Not same as, like no shutout. Like literally less assists than kills.
That just means like sometimes it happens in solo queue where every lane just dies at 3 minutes and it's like, oh, you know what? This is okay.
Everyone wins their lane then loses team fights.
Yeah.
You're 5-0 with 0 assists. You got like that jungle master E running around, you know.
And he just farms the side waves and takes the top laner's lane forever.
Exactly. My favorite junglers.
Coast, though, definitely have a hold on this game. 15K up.
Yep.
Shrimp is almost full build. That guy's been sitting on boots 1 this entire game?
Yep.
I just noticed that. Ha! Okay.
Yeah, he had other things that were more important to him.
He also
I mean, the thing is he tunnels around the map. He doesn't really need the move speed.
He also maxed W second on Rek'Sai.
Yeah, you're right.
So not going...
Knock up internal cooldown is basically what you get out of that, right?
Yep. It was a change quite a while ago.
Is that the only level up on that? Like, what else do you get per rank for Rek'Sai and W?
You get some more damage. People use
more damage on Unburrow.
Yeah.
Right.
People use it for clearing the Raptor camp without buying another damage item. So you unburrow on it. A lot of solo queue, you will max E because it makes the tunnel cooldown go down and the use of the tunnel.
Yeah.
But
this is more knock-up, more knock-up damage.
Yep, okay. Exactly. It's more team fighting. A lot of LCS pros have actually migrated over to that as well.
Oh, interesting. Good to know. Well, Mash maxed Valkyrie last, which is completely normal.
Thanks for the update.
Yeah, I got you. Normal stuff happening.
Oh, here comes the flank from Shrimp. Is he? Nope, not going to be in a good spot here. Baron is up, though. They see Avalon on the bottom side. Coast, they have all the tools to go for the throat right now. They can go towards Baron. They have complete control of it with these pink wards.
Well, right now the throat has some armor on it as Azir rows a turret up there. And Pinoy is still pushing well, and honestly, Chris is not well built to counteract Sivir. Very few armor items on this Gnar, so Pinoy is getting some time to scale, and that 3 items now on Sivir makes her a decent damage threat, roughly matched into the Corki.
The fact that Coast are taking abnormally long to end this game with such an advantage, it's going to go up to about 16,000 here. 2 Barons.
And that's why I think Coast needs to go for the 1-3-1 split push. There are 2 good wave clear champions on Winterfox, Azir and Sivir. And if you sit there face-checking Azir and Sivir, nothing good's going to happen for you guys.
There they go. Oh, they run away. So they got the Sivir ultimate. Kongquan, he'll have his Righteous Glory and his Talisman of Ascension fairly soon. You should just shove these waves up. If they go for the Dragon here, it just seems like a waste of time. They're going to get it for the 3rd one, but
I think this Dragon's okay, but I would want to actually see a 1-3-1 right afterwards. I think like if it's literally on the map, I think it's wrong to not grab it because the time investment is fairly low. Like Shrimp could solo, for example, the rest could buy, like that would be an okay way to do it. But I really want to see Coast go for the 1-3-1 because the fact there are only 2 good wave clear champions. Like we've seen Chris beat up Avalon. We know Pikawolf can outdamage Arcsec at this point because of the massive sort of gold lead this team has. But they need to get Pinoy to one lane, Arcsec to another one, and then beat up the other lane.
They backed down bottom. Mash is back. 4 people from Winterfox waiting in this bush, waiting for Mash.
He's not there.
He's not there. It's a 17K gold advantage. They're still waiting. They're still waiting. They're wanting. They want Mash. Please, Mash.
And the thing is, there's good enough wards here by Coast that, like, they know exactly where Winterfox could possibly be. And Shrimp doesn't respect that at all. Locked in the lane, getting chunked out pretty damn heavily, and this could be the first kill of the game. But here comes Conquan to buy some time. Popsicle to stay alive. Chris is teleported in, and now Winterfox caught in a fight, down 17,000 gold. Mash comes in, Avalon very low. Caught up by Shredder Ace though. Mash taking a bit of damage, but no, the Gragas will die. Mash is godlike. 2 more kills picked up. Arcsecond and Pinoy, the last 2 alive, and everyone's actually still barely healthy on the Coast roster.
Yeah, this is what I was really surprised about. They're taking so long to close this game out where you can just barrel into this team. You have Alistar, walk up to the turret, pop your R, and start a damn fight. Get a turret for it, or kill the enemy team. They just have so much. They are huge balls of stats in comparison to Winterfox right now, and they're just going to end the game off this.
They're going to go for it here. Yep, that's going to be a quick turret pickup. 20 seconds on the respawns here, but they're still giving a lot of space and time to Azir and Samurai. What if they're like hoping to win a game with no deaths?
No.
So they're trying to play it more slowly just for the scoreline? That's what that felt like, to be completely honest. How afraid they were of diving those turrets.
They must have an internal bet. First person to die this game has to buy the team dinner.
All the gold they have, it couldn't cost them much. That's not how things work, I know. Oh, Mash, yes!
Yeah.
Steals the Raptor from Shrimp. What a good player.
Shrimp doesn't need it anymore. He's full build anyway. It would have been gratuitous on him. But Shrimp face checks. Look at the map. There's nobody really near him. Talisman of Ascension, TP from the opposite side. Conquan just rushing to get here. Flash, headbutt, pulverize onto 4 members. Arcsecond wasn't in that fight either. He was shoving a wave up, and he's a large part of their damage right now. Pinoy, not in an amazing spot in items, but just the balls of stats come in and they just wreck the entire team.
Well, chase number 2, Conquan wants Shorter Ace. Ken, he misses the Q, which means a great head up pulverize starts the fight off. A couple of slows from Bard, but the rest of the team is about to join in. Avalon goes to the 1v1 against Mash. That can't possibly be a good fight for the top laner. Pinoy now with an Azir turret as well, trying to buy a bit of room, buy a bit of time, and they can't quite knock down Avalon, but the inside track of the rest of the base is here. 2 more kills picked up on the other side of this fight. Avalon, in fact, did finally die. Shredder Ace was caught out, and now minions flooding into the bot lane. A big wave in the mid lane as well. This could be a second inhib for Coast very easily.
Yeah, they're looking for it. Arcsecond is still up, though. He does have the wave clear, but it's going down way too quickly. That's the second inhibitor going over to Team Coast. Huge advantage, 20,000 gold, 40 minutes into the game. They just have to tank this turret and just take it like that.
Well, suspension hits Shrimp for a bit of time, but both Nexus turrets are dead. 40 minutes into the game, they go for the quick kill onto Ken, pad the KDAs, and that's going to be the Nexus going down. Chris, don't you dare ruin this. Oh, gets caught out, and he's going to go down. The record is ruined. Chris buys the team dinner. Coast 2-0's Winterfox. Only 2 deaths in the 2-0.
Both kills going over to Pinoy as well. Coast taking that game. Wouldn't say methodical, I would say cautious victory there.
Overly cautious, but
possibly. But still,
2-0 with 2 deaths. Like it's the weird thing is, like, as much as I don't like overly cautious teams either, you can't really argue with results where the only time you died was a sick outplay and a Azir push you into your turret, right? Like,
yeah.
If you said, hey, Coast won 2 40-minute games where they gave up 2 total kills, you'd be like, damn, that's really nice. Good job, Coast.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to be fair, it worked. They didn't give up any advantages. It required massive outplays of Winterfox to get the Dragon, to get any of the kills in this series, which means the general Winterfox holding pattern's not very strong, like the general gank pass. They obviously have the ability to make some cool plays, but obviously not enough when it takes you 5 minutes to do anything good.
Yeah, that was the Shrimp show for me. He ended the game 3-0-13, involved in 16 of the 17 kills in the game. He only missed out on 1, and I think that was the one where he got the Bard ultimate on him.
Tempered
at
faded
the Dragon.
for
Like,
the Dragon.
He can't even help there. Like
QSS, he was full build, you said. No, I'm messing. Actually, I don't think you can QSS that.
I don't think so. But another thing on top of all this is Shorter Ace ends the game level 14. His support is level 15. That's how bullied Shorter Ace was in this game. He was just picked on by Shrimp all throughout it. He wasn't getting much help, but at the same time, Shrimp was really just outplaying him. He did look rather tilted. It was just smiting away his camps, warding over the wall. As soon as he got that advantage in Sightstone, immediately pressed it there. So Shorter Ace was feeling the brunt of what this game was all about.
Yeah, and I actually want to do something or say something to underscore how good Shrimp was as well. Normally, you know, you play a game of League of Legends and like the gold graph is like mid laners up here, AD carries here, top laners there, and then you have like jungler support. Shrimp had more gold than everyone except Mash, and Mash is like stole all the kills. Like Shrimp was the second richest player on the team in the game with 16.9 thousand. He was like 2K above the mid laner, like, or above the top laner Chris. Like, Shrimp just hard carried this game. The numbers back it up. Watching the game backed it up. He unfortunately missed out on 1 kill for 100% kill participation, which is saddening. But I mean, Shrimp pretty much just carried his team through the early mid game. The lanes held their own well enough. Some won, some lost, but not by enough to make a big difference in the game, and Shrimp just crushed it.
Yeah, Shrimp had an amazing game there. 93 CS on Shorter Ace, 241 for Shrimp.
Yeah.
He really just took all of Shorter Ace's jungle, took his life, and then got to the point where he could just threaten him over and over again. So moving forward, Winterfox, they need to work as a unit. They need to jungle as a unit. Arc second needs to be making more aggressive plays. I know that he's always having an advantage for his team, right? He's always sitting there farming up, but Pinoy's doing that too now.
Yeah.
So this team is not grouping up with the Sivir composition early enough in the mid game to actually force the issue. And I feel like what happened there was Shorter Ace, somebody who's involved in the calls, just wasn't having enough of a voice. And once it got to the point, he was just too far behind to have to deal with Shrimp.
All right, so a very rough and grim start for Winterfox. Team Coast, though, seems like their standard holding pattern, relying on Shrimp, is working well. We'll see how they do in Week 2, but we've got to take a quick break. When we return, it's time for our second match of the evening between Vortex and Team Imagine. Last night, they played a bloodbath, and we'll have the gory highlights and their rematch right after this. Don't go anywhere. Magical Journey brings it right into Ken. A flash pulverized catches Pinoy. That's going to be another kill picked up. A triple for Mash.
Bust out like a saxophone. Because he's a bard, right? Got an instrument. Yeah! See the dragon?
Oh, that's actually freaking amazing! That was sick as hell! Great ulti by Ken, down 17,000 gold. Mash comes in, Avalon very low. Caught up by Shorter Ace though, Mash taking a bit of damage, but no, the Gragas will die. Mash is godlike, 2 more kills picked up. Arc second and Pinoy, the last 2 alive.